a God's instructions in Book 1. Andy.
When Athena comes down and tells him not to fight Agamemnon.
Athena tells him not to fight Agamemnon. Do you know why, Andy? Do you remember? He explains why he's following her orders. Do you remember?
Because she said he's going to die later anyway.
Not quite. We don't get into his death at that point. Can anybody help Andy out? Remember why he's following her orders. He's very clear about it. Brian, do you have it there in the text?
I believe fight him with words so he becomes disgraced.
Oh, that's Athena speaking. Look for Achilles speaking. Look, just cast your eyes down a little bit. You are on 228. Look down where it says goddess.
Goddess mentioned follow your instructions though angry in your heart. It's better so the person who's obedient to the gods attend to all the more.
Very good. Now, Brian, in that passage, goddess mentioned follow your instructions and so on. What's the reason for following Athena's instructions?
She's a god.
So?
And gods protect people.
He wants her favor. Totally selfish. He even says it to her point blank. He says, yeah, Athena, I'm going to follow your instructions. Not because I want to, not because I like you, not because I respect you, but because I want you to protect me. And I know if I don't follow your instructions, you're less likely to do so. At this point, he's following the gods' words because he wants to. If the gods weren't telling him to return the body, he'd still do it because he feels empathy, because he feels this connection with Priam. Okay, so strategy. How does Priam accomplish this? Why does Achilles feel empathy? How does he trigger it? Leanne? That's right. He reminds Achilles of Peleus, his own father, who is still alive, by the way. And he starts to make a connection there. Priam equaling Peleus. He draws the comparison. He says, as you have love for me, or as you have love for Peleus, feel that same way toward me. And realize that Peleus has not lost a son, but I have, so I'm worse off. But something else is happening behind the scenes here. Achilles knows that he will not go back to to Thea. Achilles knows that he will die, and Achilles knows very well that Peleus will lose a son. That his own father, that he loves so much, will lose a son just as Priam has lost Hector. So, that starts to trigger the identification. But what else helps the identification go along? It's not just Peleus. They have both seen loved ones slaughtered. So in Achilles' case, who's that? Yeah. Patroclus. And Homer even mentions after Priam's long speech that Achilles wept for Peleus, but then also wept for Patroclus. Now, Achilles hasn't lost a son, but Achilles has lost a best friend. And the love of Achilles for Patroclus is similar enough to the love for from Priam to Hector that Achilles can see himself in that. Tori.
I don't understand why, if Achilles is mourning for Patroclus, wouldn't that make him upset and be like, oh, Hector killed him, I'm mad?
But this is the point. Empathy in this regard doesn't require forgiveness. He hasn't forgiven Hector. He hasn't forgiven Agamemnon. And I don't believe that Priam will ever forgive Achilles. But the point is that they understand their common humanity. They might be on opposite sides of the fence, but in a sense they're together because they're both human beings. And this is what Homer has brilliantly done. He's shown that even with difference, there's still a point and an opportunity for these two men to experience their common humanity, for two enemies to cross lines and experience that. And that's really the beautiful point of the ending of the Iliad, is that it ends with this shining moment where the war is not resolved, there's no forgiveness. What's about to happen? What's going to happen after the Iliad, David?
They're about to go back to fighting.
They're going to go back to fighting after 9 days. More bloody warfare. And after reading book 16, you know what that's all about. More of that will happen. Achilles knows he will die. Priam's pretty sure that his city will be sacked and that he will die in the process. And all of this will happen. They know that's going on. They know that there's no forgiveness. And yet, at the same moment, in the midst of all of this, they have this empathetic connection. They're able to cry together, and they're able to dine together. They're able to experience that. And that's why the ending of the Iliad is so insightful, so philosophically strong, and at the same time not a cheap cop-out. Athena doesn't pop down to earth and suddenly make everybody friends. And yay, we're going to work together to better humanity. No, 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 no. Because that would be unrealistic. And that would be a cheap way out. Instead, we just see a real expression of humanity that fits within the context of bloody war. Questions, comments? Make sense? It's silence of assent. Good. I love the silence of assent. Works for assent.